Man Talk with Leroy Marc on Trans Africa Radio.
29, just after 6 p.m. Central African time. There's news, views, reviews, interviews, and I'm going to kick ass guest right here with a friend of mine as well. Hello, Louis.
Hello. What's up, Leroy?
What are you doing in my studio, brah?
I don't know.
I just feel like you're following me around, brah.
I just had to. It was high time. It was overdue.
No, it actually has been overdue because you and I have been working in the same industry for so long, and it's weird that I've never interviewed you.
I mean, everybody has been to this show. I mean, but me, so.
Yeah, we only deal with A-listers, Louis, so I mean, it's a little difficult to get hold of you because you're continental. You're probably walking in your Uganda Fashion Week, Paris, Miami.
I'm humble.
Very hard being a supermodel. Very hard being an entrepreneur as well, which is a big thing. But let's go back to Tuesdays back.
Guys, this is why people come back to this show, because Leroy makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really makes you feel like you're somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Until I sent you a check in the mail on Monday and said, "Listen, buddy, I said nice things about you."
Oh my God! On air, continental radio, mind you.
Exactly. So all of Africa, part Asia, part Europe, heard all about that. So you have to step up. You have to step up. So okay, let's move Tuesdays back. Right? I know a lot about you. I've known you forever. So it's not about me. It's about people, right? Okay. So what people don't know about you is that, and this was a hashtag you used to use at the beginning of your career.
Wait.
Yes.
I didn't know you then. How did you even dig that out? Like, how did you even find out about that?
I made the thing happen to make the thing happen.
Oh my God.
Your hashtag at the time used to be model with a qualification.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you remembered that. That was like years ago.
That was model that it was, and you were an accounting major for a long time, and you graduated in accounts, which for me is like, crazy that you're a model. And is it accurate to call you a fashion and media entrepreneur?
I think so. Yeah. For now. The reason for the hashtag, let's take it back to the hashtag, was
explain yourself.
Because of that specifically, because people look at models and then they think it's just another nice face, you know what I'm saying, and that's all there is to them. They box you in a certain category. So I had to make sure, like, guys, listen, I went to school, I got my degree, we're all good, so hashtag model for qualification, I
was like, this guy is giving us in one hashtag. You told us that you had a qualification and you're a model.
Imagine.
Most of us can only hold on to one. Like, I'm a lawyer, that's all I do, I've got a qualification, but now you're also a model. But I mean, when did the modeling bug come through? Because you were already doing things in Namibia that were huge for the country. And just to put it into context, Namibia's population, right, is less than that of Soweto in South Africa.
Imagine.
So, I mean, you guys have like roughly 2 million people.
We are 2.4 now.
2.4 million people.
We haven't 3 million yet, so it's literally a tiny.
We'll give you a few. We'll give you a few South Africans. There's a few we need to get rid of.
It's fine. Bring them. We have land. Bring them. We have lots of land. So.
And sand dunes and. So I mean, you've got such a small microcosm, and it's very difficult to get popularity, to get things moving, because you just don't have the numbers. How? And then you started an entertainment show.
Literally, how do you know all of this?
This guy thinks I don't do my research.
Dude, this is like 2009, 2010 things. I only met you like 5 years ago.
I was in transit for 4 hours today. I researched everything. I even know what your favorite color is.
Oh wow.
So if you didn't know, Louis' favorite color is pink, yellow, green. Blue is Louis' favorite color. Blue is my favorite color. That's absolutely blue. So I mean, you started off, you had Voyage was happening in Namibia.
Yes.
And the time you were studying as well, right? How did you make the move from sort of modeling and then realizing there was a niche market for an entertainment show?
Okay, basically, coming to South Africa to study here opened up my mind and my world and my eyes as well. So going back home and watching TV and finding that there's nothing like that on TV, and there's nothing people can relate to in terms of fashion, entertainment and lifestyle on TV, I saw an opportunity. I was like, guys, there's something here. Why don't we have our own top billing, our own Sele Matunzi, our own V Entertainment? Like, let's do this thing. I mean, it was hard at first, but what isn't hard is the beginning. Everything is hard. So, and then obviously you just get people to believe in you, to like see your vision, and the fact that I was modeling here in South Africa, that gave me that little currency to say that, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. And at the time I was modeling heavily here, so they would see me like on billboards, on TV commercials, at
runways,
on runways. So like they would watch DSTV and then they see my face like, oh, that's our guy, you know what I'm saying? So that gave me credibility.
But he's in South Africa right now. I know you're here.
Yeah, So it was easier after that. You know?
I think it was what was interesting for me, having followed your career and watching it progress, was how the moves were organic and in things that you understood. Because you've always been, the person who goes to an area, you find expertise, you grow it, and then you take it back home.
You have to.
Yeah. And
let me tell you why. I wanted to be on TV.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else wants to be on TV. And every time I'd go to an audition, they'll tell me, you're not South African.
Okay.
And the priority would obviously go to South African first, and then anybody else can get that.
Yeah.
Like, it's very difficult for someone non-South African to get on South African TV in terms of being the main host or whatever. So,
especially because you carry an accent that isn't quintessentially South African.
Exactly. So it's not necessarily. So, I mean, there's a saying that goes, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
So, if nobody's putting you on TV, put yourself on TV, dude. You know what I'm saying? You have nothing to lose.
Start your own show, put yourself on TV, and then make it work. But I mean, going back to that question about you then taking things and turning them into something, because then, I mean, you're working for the likes of David Lally, you're doing FM Mall and all those big names in South Africa. And you're on your way to stratospheric, like, supermodel status, because you've done Uganda Fashion Week, you've been across the continent, abroad, and then you decide to bring Fashion Week to Namibia, which is Windhoek Fashion Week. 1st to 4th November in Windhoek. Let's talk about first, is there a landscape for Windhoek Fashion? Because this is the second one.
This is the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it like this. The first ever Windhoek Fashion Week last year, we had to invite media.
Okay.
We had to invite media from South Africa, from East Africa, from West Africa. We had to literally beg people to come to us, designers and so forth.
Yeah.
This year, the tables have turned.
Okay.
We have media wanting to come to us to a point where we are saying, no, it's enough. We have designers wanting to showcase from outside Namibia, and we have to tell them that no, it's enough. We have enough designers. Like, cut off time.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because we in the fashion industry talk about hotspots. We talk about places that are hot for fashion.
Yeah.
And historically, it's always been several things. You've got a huge contingent of people walking past us right now.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. But historically, it's been very, very clear that you have to either go to in Africa, it is Sandton, it is Cape Town, it is Durban, and then internationally, Paris, London, New York, the whole lot. And Nigeria came through a bit of Lagos Fashion Week.
Yes.
Uganda came through a bit, and now we're sitting here and we've got Windhoek, which for me is quite interesting because with the number of people who are in Windhoek, the reception has been crazy.
I honestly didn't think it would be that big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it would be that big because in my mind, it's sort of like, how Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week does London, then they go to New York, and then they do Paris. It's starting to feel like that. It's starting to feel like South Africa, then they're in Lagos, now we're back to Windhoek because of the response. It's designers, it's media from all over Africa. There's even media coming from the States, mind you, and we didn't invite them. These people have done Vogue, they've done... Like, I'm not lying. Do the research, Google it, you will see them, Windhoek Fashion Week,
I think
Vogue, guys...
Are we getting you on the cover?
It's real.
Are you talking to Anna to get you on the cover of Vogue?
Let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx it.
We'll discuss after the show. What's up we're done here? I mean, so the conversation lends itself nicely then, Louis, to go to the next frontier, because for me the interesting thing about it is that you could have easily had amazing appeal in Europe, you would have had amazing appeal in America. Your aesthetic, and I'm sitting next to him right now, so Louis, who doesn't believe he's 10 kilograms heavier than me.
Guys, I weigh 70 kilograms. 70.
Lies
70.
and full. So he claims he weighs, we'll allow you that he thinks he weighs 4 kilograms more than me.
No way.
Which is a lie.
Yes.
But you could have gone anywhere. You've got an exotic look, it's a commercial look, you've got commercial appeal. Again,
Wow, okay.
Those checks are coming through. And you would have gone anywhere because you've got all the makings of a good star, and because you already made the strides to go to those regions. Okay. Africa does not do fashion like the rest of the world does. We're still dealing with the fact that people think that fashion is frivolous. It's expensive clothes we wear for now. Only people who have money to waste do fashion, and we know it's not true. So as an entrepreneur, how do we start redefining how Africa looks at itself, especially as far as fashion is concerned? Because fashion doesn't only mean... I heard a statistic the other day, right? That if in Africa, if if the fashion industries were insulated, so they weren't importing anything from outside, Africa would be able to employ every unemployed person in the fashion industry and the spin-offs. So this is including textiles, designing, in seamstresses, in making fabrics, in coloring. The industry is so vast and wide that we could literally have every unemployed person working some way or another in the value chain of fashion.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. Well, the fashion industry in Africa is worth $35 billion.
Okay.
$9 billion.
How many countries does that include?
It includes the entire continent because, but also the sad thing is that we're exporting those 35 billion to America. So we're losing it in the chain, the value chain.
And it's funny how we export only to import something
back
that
again.
we exported.
I mean, I've got a story for you, Louis, that actually broke my heart. I was telling a story to a friend of mine yesterday. I went to a wedding 2 years ago. We had to buy suits for $1,500, US dollars. This was in 2014.
Yeah.
And when the suit arrived from the US, $1,500 worth. It said made in Durban.
No ways.
And we are 45 minutes away from Durban, the flight?
Right. It's just here around the corner.
Exactly. So what do we need to do to start redefining how Africa looks at its product, especially in fashion, for us to start making the money that is clearly in the fashion industry?
We have to own it, The reason why Vogue is coming to cover Windhoek Fashion Week, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Herero aesthetics.
Yeah.
So they have the gowns and it's... Okay, Namibia has uniquely traditional attire.
Okay.
That's the Himba, the Herero, the Bambu. Like our traditional attire is not similar to the other African countries.
Yeah.
It's very unique in a sense that it can become its own fashion sense. It's on. I'm sure if Rihanna wears one of those, trust me, it'll fly over. You know what I'm saying? But it's fire. But the international market is taking notice.
Yeah.
They are taking notice of Africa. Like Africa is the way to go. African fashion is the way to go. So literally, that's one of my decisions why I chose to go back home and take what I learned to build my own fashion industry in Namibia, because Africa is the future. You know what I'm saying? So people try to run away, like wanna be European, wanna be where and so forth. So yeah, like you're saying, we are gonna get there at some point where our fashion industry is literally gonna contribute to the GDPs in several African countries, where it's just fashion employing people, like you're saying. We are gonna get there. Like I know Namibia for a fact, we are making those strides. Fashion is growing. Fashion right now in Namibia isn't what it was last year. You know what I'm saying? Or the year before that. Every year there's a change and we're growing.
What I found very interesting was, and because I follow Windhoek Fashion Week also on Instagram, and you and David and many other contributors in that sphere. And what I found interesting is that you had a request for applications, requests for collaboration from everything from models to designers to the whole spectrum, the jewelry makers,
leather guys, bags, all of those things.
And Louis, I mean, we know that the fashion industry is very cliquey. It's a very insulated market that likes to keep the gates closed, right? Was a conscious decision to go and open it up so wide to say, listen, if you're a model, if you're gonna do this modeling thing, come through. Leroy, you might not look the way we want you to look, we might not be the fashion
plus size models are welcome.
Exactly.
So that's how you know, like, the industry is really expanding. You know what I'm saying?
But did you consciously make the decision to say, let's open up the industry, as it were, to everyone, because you've created this industry, and then you're the pioneer, so you don't need to adhere to industry rules?
Of course not. You make your own rules, make it work, do what makes you know what I'm saying?
Coming from a model who looks like him, it's unfortunate because the rest of us were like, yeah, sure buddy.
I'm big. I don't think I can do runway anymore. You can. You have.
Sorry.
Like,
Louis,
like you look like me.
Are you saying to me?
No, I'm not saying I'm fat.
No, are you saying I can walk?
Yes, of course.
But you can walk. You're serious?
Yes, dude.
So wait, hold on.
You're on the runway. And plus, the fact that you're on radio, you're on TV, you will be like part of the celebrity model clique. You know what I'm saying?
Is this you booking me?
I'm booking you, dude. Your rate will be like twice as much as the local.
Oh no! Louis, I only do this for family. Okay, so for a personal friend of mine, I'll give you a good rate. We'll discuss the rate later on. But for me, it's interesting because I mean, that's a prime example. I've always thought that I was too small, too short for a runway, and that has been how we've been conditioned to think about it.
I think those are Western standards, because right now people want to see relatable people on the runway, people that are realistic.
Yeah.
Hence the different sizes, the different heights, the different looks and stuff like that. Because I want to see someone I can relate to on the runway. I want to say that, okay, fine, this person looks good in those clothes, but he's just like me. You know, this whole thing of this skinny models, tall models, too much muscular male models and stuff, that's all fading away slowly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, but like you said, Windhoek Fashion Week is ours, so we can make up the rules, you know what I'm saying? And we choose to put people on the runway who are real. People that your normal average human being can relate to. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys have only started the autumn-fall collection, the fall-winter collections, right?
Yeah. For now, we only have one installment in a year, but obviously, as we grow gradually, we'll have it twice a year. We'll have autumn, winter, and spring, summer, like every other fashion.
What have you learned from your being involved in so many fashion excursions? I mean, when I say excursions, I include the fashion weeks, I include modeling, commercials. What have you learned that has helped you to start this whole process going through? Like what are the raw materials that have come together for you to start this whole thing?
You just have to believe in yourself. Yeah, it's that belief and that thing of I'm not gonna give up no matter what. My biggest commercial that I've done was the Pepsi Max, and that aired all over Africa. And I wasn't the lead in that commercial. I was an extra. Okay. But while I was on set, I was giving it 110%. Yeah. And the directors took notice of that, and they removed the main guy and they put me on it. Like that was my big break.
There was a poor guy who had a joke.
You know what I'm saying? And like because I was so determined, I was in there, and I've taken that with me wherever I go. Like if I'm on set on a thing, it's you have to bring your 100%, even if the people around you are slacking and messing up. Like they bring, like you personally, you bring your aura, you bring your energy, you bring your vibe, you bring your 100%, and people can see that wherever you go. Like people take notice of that. So and then things start to happen just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Things are happening. I'm joined by Louis. You know Louis, ne? I'm usually the big guy in the room right now, and he's giving me a run for my money. So Louis, we're keeping you here. We're gonna have a conversation for a further 45 minutes, right?
Oh my god!
What do you think? What do you think? Coming here, it's hashtag Man Talk, man. Man Talk Saturdays. We'll be chatting to you just now. We'll continue the conversation. We're gonna get hold of us, of course, to find us _Leroy_Marc. Louis.
Yes.
What's your Instagram handle?
Oh, my Instagram. It's Louis Munana. LuisMunana.
Pronounced Louis.
Yes, pronounced Louis.
Louis.
Or sometimes Louis, the S is silent.
Louis, yes.
It's whatever you want it to be. You know, it's one of those names. I don't mind. So,
people with names that have silent letters, why are they even in there? We'll continue the conversation in just a bit. Quickly, before we go, the next question I'm going to be posing to you is a very difficult one, right?
Okay.
A very, very difficult one.
I'm getting scared now.
Yeah, so you need to bring out your degree, you need to bring out all the wherewithal that you have over there, right? Okay, but when you start interrogating also the landscape of fashion as it stands, okay, you must have had, so the story always goes, you always learn about how Jay-Z made it, how Louis made it, how
I haven't made it. What are you talking about?
Do you not have a fashion week of your own?
I do, but
exactly. Do I have a fashion week?
I don't know.
Exactly.
You have a whole law degree. You're on radio. You're on multiple TV shows. You have your own health experience. Like I look at you and I'm like, damn, where does he get the time to do all of this? So
he's trying to get me to discount him from giving compliments earlier on. He's not gonna have it.
This is Trans Africa Radio.
At a discounted price, and he was there for like 3 hours. And everything he took with him was sold out.
So they are
we literally had to go print more tickets.
Limited amount of tickets.
Almost sold out.
Limited amount of tickets.
Limited amount of tickets. Front row seats. Everybody wants to be front row.
Sorry,
basically bad. Second row seat is also fine, guys. Come on, you know what I'm saying?
Actually, I prefer second row because if a model falls over, they don't fall on you. They don't fall on you. But I mean, listen, I'm looking forward to it. I will see you in Windhoek then, where I'll be
working. Yes, sir. You better come and you better bring it. Bring all of you. Bring it.
Hopefully, I'll be walking over there. But it was a great conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you and I were doing the things. So back into the music. We're gonna do. Sorry. Now, what are you saying?
Repeat everything from where did you get the ticket?
Okay. So our producer, our outside broadcast producer, Tabo, says you must please repeat all of the information from where you get the tickets to when it's taking place, and also the idea of that the tickets at the door will be just slightly higher priced.
Wait, I love this song playing in the background.
You can't take Africans anyway, bro. We hear a beat, you want to get down.
That's all you want to do, just want to dance. Okay. Shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Tickets are sold at events today, but for those of you outside Namibia, you guys can buy your tickets online. That's www.eventstoday.com. If you're in Namibia, you buy your tickets at any Events Today outlets. These are the airtime vending machines at service stations, ShopRite, Mr. Price, all over town. And surprisingly today we had my business partner Kali was selling tickets at Street Cuisine, and it got sold out within 2 hours.
So there are limited amount of tickets.
Tickets are limited, like literally they're flying off the rails. But hey, you know, front row seats are almost sold out. Like
I love how you use the fashion reference off the rails, right? Because, you know, things come off the rails.
Yeah, you gotta bring it in.
It's been great, man. So I'll see you 1st to the 4th of November.
Come to Windhoek, Leroy. We're waiting for you. Bring all of you. All of you.
You said I could walk, so I'm gonna
give
go there
the people what they want.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I am going there to go give them that. Just a mess. Okay, let's do that then.
This is Trans Africa Radio.